All right, this is the test correction video. You need to do corrections on any test problem that you didn't get proficient on. And you need to redo the entire thing. Okay? So I should see you redo the entire thing, and then I'm giving you a practice problem to do. All right, so number 3 I'm going to start with. So if you need a correction on that, follow me here. Otherwise, skip in the video to the next problem or whatever you need. Okay? So the sales tax on a coat that's $45 is 8%. Find the total cost of the coat. Keyword, total cost. Total. All right, so the coat, it costs $45. You see that on the tag. But that's not all I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay more money. What am I paying? I'm paying sales tax also. So my answer should be more than $45 when I put it down. So to find the sales tax, it tells me that it's 8%. So I'm going to find 8% of the price of the coat, $45. And we've been finding percents of numbers for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So to figure this out, 8% when I'm calculating, if I'm not sure of the decimal equivalent of this, I would type in 8 divided by 100, and that'll tell me 0.08. Okay, but that's just what this is without the percent symbol. That represents 0.08. Of means multiply, and 45 means 45 because there's no percent sign with it. So I'm really doing 0.08 times 45. So on my calculator, I'm going to do 0.08 times 45. And there it is. Now in money, how much is that? 3.6. How would I write that in money? So I go to the hundredths place. If nothing's there, what do I put? A 0. So if I go over here and write the total price of this jacket is $3.60, I would be wrong. Why? Because look at what we wrote first. The price of the jacket is $45 plus the sales tax. So now I'm going to write in, I'm going to add $3.60 to what already the coat costs, $45. And when I add those together, my price of my coat will not be $45, it'll be $48.60. Okay? All right, so the practice problem I want you to try for me to show me you are trying and you are practicing, one that is very similar to this. Let's say the sales tax on a shirt that is priced at $30 is 7%. Find the total cost of that shirt. Okay? So that's what I want you to practice with. All right, good luck. All right, I am going now to number 2. Okay? Actually, it wasn't number 2, it was number 4 on tip. So this is the problem on tip. Nancy and 2 friends. So how many people is that? That's 3 people. That is 3 people going out to eat. They paid a 15% tip for a bill of $53.74. Sales tax already included. Okay. Then they split the total evenly amongst the 3 of them. How much did each person pay? All right, so first off, they left a 15% tip on the bill. So I need to find 15% of $53.74. And they'll pay a total of $53.74 plus the tip, which I'm calculating right here. So how do we calculate this? 15% is going to be 15 divided by 100, which is 0.15. Of means multiply, and multiply it with 53.74. So when I do that, 0.15 times 53.74, how much money is that? If I go to the hundredths, that's going to be $8.06, because that 1 is not going to round that up to a 7. So now they're not just paying $53.74, they're also paying $8.06 for tip. So if I add these 2 numbers together, so I'm going to add how much was that? $53.74 to that. I'm at $61.80. $61.80. So is that going to be my final answer here? No, because the question's asking me how much did each person pay? So what am I going to have to do with $61.80? I'm going to have to divide it evenly amongst the 3 people. So 61.80 divided by the 3 people who went to dinner. And how much is that in money? $20.60 for each person. Okay? All right, the practice problem that you're going to do for tip. If you did not get proficient on this, the practice problem is going to be Joe and his 3 friends. They paid a 20% tip on a bill of $72.14 with sales tax already included. They split it evenly. So how much each? How much for each person? How much will they each pay? Okay, so go ahead and pause the video if you need to write that out. All right, next problemo. Going to markups and discounts. So this is problem number 5. Problem number 5. We're going percent of change here. Some of you just were able to do the first step. And if I'm trying to find the percent discount, the percent of change, I need to find what did it change by. It went from 180 down to 150. So what's the change between those 2 numbers? So I'm going to take that amount of change and I'm going to divide it by where it originally started at, which was 180 bucks. So I'm going to have 30 divided by the original cost, 180, and 30, the amount of change by, divided by the original cost, gives me that nice number. So if I write that out here, 0.166666, okay, it keeps going. If I go to the hundredths place and I move the decimal there, there's my percent. So that's 16.6 repeating percent discount. That's how much it changed by. Okay? All right, so your practice problem here is going to be, let's say, a shirt. Original cost is 50 bucks. Sale, it went down to 40 bucks. I want to know what's the percent discount. All right, so try it out. Okay, going to number 6, interest. Danny invests $3,500 and he earns 2% interest, simple interest, each year. Assuming he makes no additional deposits, he doesn't put any money into it, he doesn't take any money out, withdrawals, how much will his investment be worth in 5 years? So the key is here, he will have $3,500, but every year, the first year, the second year, the third year, the fourth year, the fifth year, he's going to be making money. And how much money is he going to make? He's going to make 2% of the amount he put in, $3,500. So we need to find how much money that is because he gets that every single year for 5 years. So how do we find 2% of 3,500? 2% is going to be 2 out of 100. 2 divided by 100. And when you do that, you'll get the decimal version of 2%, which is 0.02. Of means times 3,500. So when I take 0.02 times 3,500, there's how much money he gets each year. So 70 bucks. So you get 70 the first year, 70 the second year, 70 the third year, 70 the fourth year, 70 the fifth year. Instead of adding all these 70s together, I could just take my 70 and multiply it by 5 to get this grand total. And 70 times 5 is 350 bucks. So his investment is not just worth $350. He still had the $3,500. So in total, when I add that together, he's at $3,850 after 5 years. So my question for you for practice here is, let's say you have John. He invests $2,000 at 3% interest, simple interest, each year. How much is his investment worth after 4 years? Okay? All right, and the final problem that I'm going to go through is the percent error. So percent error, last problem that we practiced on right before the test. Percent error is just like percent of change. So you have someone guessing a measurement. He measured the height of his windows to be 4.5 feet. The actual measurement is 5 feet. Okay, he was off. Find the percent error. So I'm really doing percent of change here. So I need how much did it change by? What's the difference between what the actual was and what his guess was? What's the difference between those two? And then I need to divide it by the actual height, whatever the actual number is, and that actual number is 5. So 5 minus 4.5 is 0.5, and 0.5 divided by that actual number of 5, so 0.5 divided by 5 gives me 0.1. So this equals 0.1. Now it asks for a percent, so percent is to the hundredths. So if I go to the hundredths, there's nothing there, so what should I put there? A 0. Move the decimal to be there. And what percent do I have? 10% error. Okay? He was off by 10%. So now let's try this again. Let's say you had a guess of on something as 7, and the actual was 6.2. What was your percent error? Okay, remember, what do you have to do with those two numbers first? And then what do you divide by? You're always dividing by the actual. So remember, you need corrections to all the ones that you did not get proficient on, and you need to have done that practice problem for me in order to retake and get a better score on Wednesday, Thursday this week. Okay, so good luck, get it done, have some grit.